Well, thank you. Good evening. Welcome. Especially to all our new members. Adam, Wendy, who else have we got that's maybe not here? Oh, Diana. Well, it's just that you're so annoying, is it? Oh, dear. Right, okay. First item on the agenda, to sign the minutes of the last meeting. Now, of course, some of you weren't here, but I've had a look at them and they're very straightforward. I don't think there's anything untoward on them. So if you don't mind, I'll sign them.
No. No, they are fine. I was about to say, but I hesitated.
Thank you, Councillor Cole. Right, next item, apologies for absence. I have apologies from Mike Warren and Wayne Howard.
Chair, if I can just advise that Councillor Lomax said that she will be here but later.
Oh, apart from that, we're all here. Item 3, members' interests. To receive declarations of members' interests and the nature of such interests in any of the following agenda items: disclosable interests and party booking arrangements.
None.
Okay, thank you. Item 4, to appoint the Licensing Committee Vice Chairman for 2016-17. I've already advised members regarding Councillor Mike Warren, who had expressed an interest. He was ably proposed and seconded by several of you. So could I ask if there are any more nominations for that position? No? And could I then have a show of hands for Councillor Warren to be Vice Chairman of the committee? Unanimous, thank you. Right, the Licensing Hearing Subcommittee minutes. These are the various, for the benefit of new members, they are the various hearing panels that have been held throughout the year. Have you had a chance to look at them? And I'm sure that Andrea, if you've got any queries about any of them, Andrea will be more than happy to clarify. Won't you, Andrea? Yeah. One thing I would ask, Andrea, is, of all of them, has there ever been any complaints, requests for reviews on any of the decisions that we made on these hearings?
Are these specific ones, these 5
Yeah, the part that we're looking at now. Because the reason they come to hearing panels is because there's been representation made. And usually those representations are based on the sort of what-if scenario. And there is a recognised solution to that, in that if those particular establishments did do as was predicted, then there is a mechanism whereby the premises can be brought back for review. And that's why I'm asking the question.
One of them was actually a review of the 30 pieces.
Yes, it was. Yeah. But I was thinking of the Skylark, that was the wedding venue, wasn't it, the marquee, Nightly Arms, and particularly the High Marsh static street trading. I don't believe that there has been any comeback on that, was there? And of course we all know about the taxi hearing, do we not, Mr. Cook? And I'm sure that when we come to our one-day role play and training session, I'm sure we'll give you a good resume of that particular
I want to be a taxi driver.
Noted. On record. Okay, item 6, Licensing Act applications update. This is basically just a...
Oh, sorry, Chairman.
Yes.
I just want to recall the
Yes.
fact that Skylark,
Oh, yes.
I was just disappointed that they had problems, and parish council made various comments and that, and I think clearly it is one of the best businesses for encouraging employment in the rural economy, and I could not understand why anybody would want to complain about it.
Yeah. Well, of course, there's some of these hearings are based on very, very localised representations, and we have to obviously listen to those representations and make a view, with the proviso that yes, if a valid complaint does come to fruition, there is a mechanism to deal with it.
Yes.
Yes, Catherine.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Yeah, I was just going to say that I can understand that often that the local people are really worried about noise, and if anybody has ever stayed on a campsite or a caravan site, then you can hear someone snoring right down the other end of the field. So yes, I feel that obviously a lot of these are justified. I can take on board, you know, their concerns, but like you say, if it does get past, there is a complaint, you can always complain.
That's right. Yeah.
It's always on the fear of what might happen.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Whether
right.
it's a parish council, a local resident, a local business, there's not generally really good evidence. It's just they've not had that activity before, they wanted to apply for it, and it's local fear of what might happen if that, you know, the licence was to be granted, and that's where it's based.
And of course, this is not within our gift to refuse a licence based on a what-if scenario. We have to take it on its merits, in the same way as planning.
But we do have the powers to bring it back as and when it...
Absolutely, yes. So does that make life a little clearer for these hearings? I mean, when you read them, they can look a little, you know, sort of black and white. Yeah, we're not going to, we're going to revoke this, we're going to do that. But when you actually start to look at it, you hear the advice of legal representation and all the rest of it, you can get a completely different picture. So it's quite a learning curve.
That is exactly planning though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can read it and
you can go in with one
exactly
fixed thing in your mind and come away with something completely different.
Yeah.
On the on the taxi driver application, it was a little unclear what the offence was. I assume it was a private hire cab planning trade.
This is the last one, isn't it?
It's a taxi, it's a bit complicated. It's a licensed taxi driver, so he's got a vehicle licence and he's personally licensed to drive taxis in Daventry. He lives outside of the area, he lives in Birmingham, and he does private hire work in Birmingham because he's entitled to do that with his licence. On this particular day, the offence was he had legitimately taken somebody to the train station, and without even thinking about it, he'd picked two people up from the train station who were badgering him to take him to Daventry. And little did he know that they were undercover police officers. So he was applying for hire and he shouldn't have been. He can only apply for hire within the district, you can't do it outside the district.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
Traffic sneak in to the sting operation, but there you go.
So, excuse me, Chairman, does that happen a lot then, or did they do that, or?
Well, as I say, we're talking about Birmingham here.
So they've got a lot of. That doesn't happen here.
We haven't got the resources to do it, but
well, I guess that, but yeah.
okay. But there you go. He did wrong and he was caught out. End of.
Madam Chairman, may I commend the officers and yourself with regard to the decision notices being attached to the hearing minutes, and obviously the decision notices now are typed and go through to the applicant at the time of the hearing, and I think that's absolutely terrific.
Yes, again, I'll explain for the benefit of the new members that in the early days we would sit here on the top table, we would make our decision, and then it was left to officers to type that up. It was sent to me in the post, or I came in to sign it as chairman, and then so we're talking a few days before. Now then we decided that we would actually make the decision notice immediately. So and it works quite well, I think.
I think we got caught out with one of the cases because we wanted to appeal against the decision, and because the notice hadn't been issued straight away, it delayed the 21-day appeal period. Because if it takes a week for you to send the notice out, they're not notified until the notice arrives on their doorstep, which means they then get 21 days from them. So it delays the appeal process. So I think we decided, because we've been slightly caught out on one occasion a few years ago, that
You've got to understand that this whole regime was set up literally from scratch. There's only Andrea and Ed between them. We had nothing, did we? And then all of a sudden this act was thrust upon us, and we had to create this whole new bureaucracy. And each time there's been a slight mistake made because of the way that we've done, the procedural way we've done things, and we've tweaked those procedures to make it more and more robust.
And we'll continue to do that.
And we'll continue to do
in the future
so.
that will come back and just think, why have we done that? That doesn't make sense. Let's do it this way now.
Yeah. But I think although it does make, especially if we've got 3 hearings, which we have in the morning, it sort of elongates the procedure somewhat to wait for these decision notices. It's always best. Because there has been occasions, when the decision notice has been tacked up and there's been a slight error on it. So therefore there's like a double check, because I read it through and should really say that. And back it goes till it comes back right. So, that's the way we try and keep on top and keep on our toes, really. Any other questions on the hearings? Okay. And the applications update, agenda item 6. That's just very brief, isn't it?
Intentionally brief, Chair. If I can take members to page 35 of the bundle, you'll see that if you're familiar with previous reports of this nature, it has been streamlined somewhat, principally because of the amount of data entries over the course of the time. What I subsequently did was share the underlying data by way of a spreadsheet with members of the licensing committee, together with instructions on how to access the public register, which I know that Councillor Eden helped me to develop some time ago. I've updated it with the new public register, and I'm happy to take any questions, or indeed if there's any queries on how to access the register. Perhaps a little bit, go through a little tutorial after this business meeting, if members so wish.
Probably gathered from just this brief list, it's quite a bureaucratic process. All these applications coming in, all these really quite trivial bits of money coming in, and it is quite time consuming for officers. But we do the best, well, you do the best you can to get it right. So, and I mean that's just applying to Daventry, isn't it? It doesn't apply to the county. And
Absolutely.
Council's been dealing with goodness knows what.
Excuse me, Emma, can I ask a question? Do you, with licences, when people apply for licences for whatever reason, does everything come to committee, or is it done delegated as well?
No, this is one of the reasons why we need to have the extended training for new members, so that we can go through the whole process of what licence goes where and what happens to it once we receive it. If we for instance, taxis will process in our in-house, but the majority of other licences, including licences, what are called environmental health licences, like scrap metal dealers and the like, will be processed by the licensing unit or based over at Thrapston. But we'll give you more detail, the full amount of detail on the days-long training.
Sorry, I did know that bit, but I meant, so does every bit come here?
If they fulfil the criteria, as officers, we would issue the licence. If there's anything that's of any concern, that there's something, if it's a taxi, for instance, and there's something coming up on their DBS, and they've got some sort of criminal record in the last 5 years, then that potentially would then be referred to the licensing panel. Right. Or if it's something really minor, then as officers we might decide to have a huddle, have a discussion, get some more details from the person, and make a decision on styles. It doesn't always come to committee, but then it doesn't always, rest with officers to make the decision either. There's sort of like a 2-tier process.
Thank you. Thank you. I did read the folder, most of it.
Very much
good bedtime reading. But I didn't know that bit. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
The full detail of the delegation down to officers, included in the Constitution, of course. We'll cover that on the training in more detail.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions on this very brief? Just to say, it will be covered more fully in the training session. So, we don't need to go any further into that. Now, item 7 the councillor development charter, community development needs, well, I think we've already sort of touched on that. We need to have this full day training, not only for new members. I mean, I always come along, stick my pen in. And obviously, all members who need a refresher or just need to clarify something, always good. After this meeting this evening, we've got Paul, who's come along to talk to us about
community protection notices.
That's the one.
CPNs.
Right, it's always that before. And, you know, we do have training sessions. They're quite apart from the member development sessions that is organised by Rosemary Daniel. Because it's recognised that licensing is a thing on its own. And we know what's best, what our training needs are. So therefore, because these statutory meetings are relatively short, we can usually tag on, you know, half an hour, 3/4 of an hour after the statutory meeting, or we can have, if it's something particularly that we need to get to grips with, then we do organise a proper training session throughout the schedule, as it were. So that's how we do it.
And with the training session, like when I came last time to the training, will it be, you said that it might be a like a role playing thing, so it will be.
It's very, very
that's
much.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's very much a
I'll just add to that, Chair.
Yes.
I have managed to get a date in which is good for 9 out of the 10 licensing committee members. That date is Friday the 15th of July, so I'd ask you to put that in your diary. The request was to have this role play on this particular day, so that will take it to a full day's training. The morning will be the short talk and discussion elements, and the afternoon typically will be a role play for sure. So that adds a bit of it's a better way of educating, it's a better way of learning, and it's a bit of fun as well, for sure. And it's doing the job in a safe environment, which is extremely beneficial for sure. But yes, we've got the CPN training tonight. We've got the Friday the 15th of July for the full day's training. I'd certainly commend all licensing committee members to come if at all possible, because that will benefit the day. We have a licensing training session booked in for the 14th of September 2016 specifically, and for the 2nd of February 2017. Those days, those evenings will be bespoke to licensing, but we do encourage we do invite all members to them for sure. The topics will become evident as we get a bit nearer the time.
And those are part of those are part of the normal member development sessions in the evening, aren't they?
Correct.
Thank you.
Sorry, could you just say the last date? You said February the
2nd of February 2017.
Thank you.
It's all the dates are actually listed on the schedule of council meetings, but I'd certainly certainly recommend attendance of them for sure.
Yes. The thing about the licensing regime as a whole is it has a sneaky way of actually adding things throughout the year, as and when government decides that and it opens up a whole new raft of legislation and training and updates, does it not? And of course there are several courses run by the Institute of Licensing. And where else do you go to, Ed?
We pick up information from all around the country for sure. But what we do advocate is that we'll then cascade that down to members. We have got external trainers in the past, which have been sort of tailored towards non-rural environments, which hasn't been particularly beneficial to local members. So you know it goes on the line, and we'll make sure that we're up to date as your officers, and we'll make sure that you receive the information that's relevant to Daventry District.
Yeah, I think that's worked very well. It's also cheaper. It's an easier environment. We can ask questions without feeling stupid or embarrassed, because we all know each other, and it, to me, works 200 times better than it would otherwise. Paul?
Well, you know, and you would excuse me for saying that because, you know, we are a quasi-judicial court of law, and whatever we decide doesn't have to go through planning, doesn't have to go through to council, you know, with regards to hearings, etc. If we're changing constitution, obviously, you know, that doesn't matter. But, you know, as a court of law, and we thank the government in 2000 and whenever it was, three, for handing it over and costing us a fortune in doing so.
Well, I think finally, after what, 10 years, 13 years, we're finally getting to grips with it. Hopefully. That, would you believe, we've got urgent business, but I don't think there is any urgent business. I thought there would not be.
Did it really take 50 police officers to sort out the plume and feathers?
Councillor Rand.
Just on that, a lot of those will be special, so it'll be a training exercise, not like they're all paid police officers.
Sorry?
They're special, so a lot of them will be special, so they use it as a training exercise, so it's not like you're paying for 50 police officers.
No.
So it's, you know, it'll all be part of their training.
Oh, I see. Right. If you say so. Is that something that's happened in Daventry and I don't know about it?
Yeah, there was a drug raid.
Oh, I see.
And it was all part of Pub Watch.
Oh, right, okay.
They funded it for, they didn't know a date, but they said that they knew that there was drugs, you know, it had come to the attention that there was drugs in the pubs, or some of the pubs in town, so Pub Watch scheme that's run in Daventry, you know, they funded the dog to go in, so yes, so it was a raid.
Can I just add that Northampton Police have actually lodged a review against the plume and feathers. The blue notice has gone up today, so that will be coming before the licensing panel in due course.
Thank you. I look forward to that. Thank you very much.
So for that reason, I would not encourage too much discussion in.
No, I say it, it's complete news to me, so I'll take that on board and we'll now move on. So there's no urgent business, so at almost 22:07, I'll declare this meeting closed and hand over to Paul Knight, who will talk to us about community protection.